It's one of the great wildernesses of this world. It's been one of my ambitions for a long time.
Anthony Hollinshead is Steve's best friend and his long-time climbing partner.
Climbing is predominantly having trust in your climbing partner. It's paramount that you know what the other's doing.
Nigel Vardy completes the three-man team. This is his first expedition with the others. He's an experienced climber, but he's never attempted a mountain as treacherous as Mount McKinley.
I sometimes suffer a little bit with confidence, and sometimes I have to say, Nigel, you can do this, you'll be fine. Originally, Steve had the dream of climbing McKinley, and really we perhaps followed his lead.
Down, okay? So let's strip all the unnecessary gear and pack a kit.
What we agreed? Frillies in tutus.
The conditions can be extremely hostile at this altitude. The team must be sure of the weather before they decide on making the challenging climb for the summit.
Base to Jensen. Weather's looking fairly good for the next 24 hours.
Copy that, base. Good night. Good enough?
We better get some beauty sleep then, eh? To infinity and beyond.
I'm shivering, my teeth are chattering, my thought process is slowing down, I'm becoming lethargic.
Steve, who is leading the team, is beginning to feel the effects of hypothermia. He's literally freezing to death. They're at over 19,000 feet, and the temperature is plummeting. At such altitudes, the impact of an unpredicted storm like this is devastating. Steve is suffering badly. Anthony and Nigel know that they have to get him out of the freezing cold.
We need to look for shelter! Get somewhere safe, now!
Finding anywhere to hide up there is very difficult. You really are out on your own.
Right! Up there!
By the grace of God, we found a crevasse at the base of the summit cone. We took our ice axes and opened the face of it up, which was very hard work. I can feel myself going down. I'm shivering. Hypothermia is gonna come soon if I don't get out of this wind. It was a wind that was killing us. And once we were in there, I'm not going to say it was warm, but it was warmer. As the cold's taking effect, your mind's slowing down, your reactions are slowing down, thought process is slowing down. So I'm relying then on others to take care of me.
I need you to hug me. I need you to get some warmth into me. No toast.
Anthony was talking to Steve quite a lot, and I think that probably came from the fact that they were great friends anyway. They'd known each other a long, long time, and Anthony just wasn't going to let him go.
Thirsty. Thirsty. Give us a drink. Nice drink. Let's see what we've got here.
Dehydration is a major, major problem.
The team begin to regret leaving their equipment behind.
What's that then, Nige?
We should have carried a stove to reheat and to get some warm food inside us and possibly a better drink inside us.
It's all right, mate. It's all right. Just calm down. I'm here, all right? So shh.
We got to radio for help. Get them to send help. We'll never get Steve down on our own, not in the state that he's in. We've got no choice.
I don't know. He's still shivering and moving. That's a really good sign.
Nigel and Anthony know that Steve would want to carry on, but they now must decide if they should call off the climb and send out a mayday call.
It's a very difficult decision to actually decide that we've got.
1 click for yes, 2 clicks for no.
Are you Expedition Zambezi?
We just went down until they got a click for yes.
Are you Expedition Denson?
And at that point, they've got who you are, what route you're climbing, next of kin, equipment, all this information they can use.
The storm is too bad to rescue you tonight. We need you to call again in the morning.
What did they say?
What's to call?
So let's get back, radio base, and tell them that we're all fine now.
I'm sorry, mate, but you were a real mess.
It's fine. Really. Let's just get back, get Nigel, radio in, and push on.
Nigel still needs to radio in to confirm their position and let base camp know that their emergency is over.
I took the radio and I put it on the edge of the crevasse top while I hauled myself up and my rucksack. And I knocked it with my elbow. And just watched this little black dot go flying down the slope. And I thought, you prat.
Base camp, this is Expedition Denson. Do you copy?
It's dead. Which was a hell of a thing to realise.
Face was swollen up the size of a football. I don't know how long he's going to last. We've just got to get him off.
Let's get you inside, eh?
Look, Steve, I'm so sorry. Maybe the two of you can push on. I know how important getting to the top is for the both of you.
Look, let's not worry about that now, okay?
Steve and Anthony took it fantastically well, actually, and I felt immensely guilty. Still do.
We've got to get down. Get him to a hospital and quickly.
The mountain will be here next year, be here the year after. If we leave Nigel like this, he might not be. We've got to get down.
With the radio now broken, all chance of communication is gone. It's a race against time for Steve and Anthony to get Nigel down the mountain. As soon as they start their descent, the team realize that Nigel is suffering from more than just frostbite.
When we set off back, it's obvious that Nigel is struggling, and we didn't realise that his eyesight was quite as bad as it was.
The swelling on Nigel's face has forced his eyes shut. He's becoming weaker and confused, slower with every step.
It's a feeling of being out of control.
Nigel! Keep moving!
You be all right?
Will you?
See you later.
Steve. What's your step?
somewhere in the back of my mind I can hear some mumbling going on. And Steve walks away. And I'm looking at him, squinting, thinking, Steve, where are you going? And he's gone.
Nige, we're just gonna settle ourselves here for a while, okay? Yeah?
I'm trying to keep it from the forefront of my mind, but it's obvious that there is a chance that Nigel could die. It's a weird experience seeing Steve go off on his own.
It's a massive responsibility for me to get down, and I feel the weight of that responsibility. Down climbing is much harder than up climbing, and when you've not got a rope on or someone to care for you up above, the risk's high. My heart's pounding a little bit. Everything seems firm, everything's holding. Okay, big breath, come on the mountain.
Thinking to myself, are they looking for us? There's a rescue party coming up the mountain now, or we're going to be safe. And the blades go away and sink into the distance.
At this kind of altitude, a helicopter rescue is virtually impossible. Whatever they can hear, it's unlikely that it's deliverance. Beneath them, Steve is critically injured, but is making a heroic effort to drag himself to where he can be spotted by... Night is beginning to fall, and in these temperatures, Steve knows he'll be lucky to survive the hours ahead.
I've got to look after myself for the night now. I've got to think about shelter, about keeping myself warm. What if the wind comes down the mountain? I untie my ice axe from my leg and I etch out a shallow hollow and build up a small wall. It's enough to keep any wind off. I need to make sure that I stay awake when it's dark. If I don't stay awake, I die. I'm thinking about my family back home in England. That's keeping me going. I want to see my family. I want to go home to them. I've got to stay awake. I'm messing with my leg. Putting my goggles over my eyes so my eyes don't freeze. Even tapping my leg to stimulate some pain so that it keeps me awake.
Sheer panic at the time, and it happened so quickly that there wasn't much time at all to think. The
next thing I actually remember was being pulled right underneath the ice.
There was so little time to realize what had happened, except that it was a real problem.
It wasn't long before we came up in essentially an air chamber underneath the ice.
The air pocket saves their lives, but the ice shelf could stretch on for miles.
I remember looking over at my father, yelling at him.
Blake yelled.
Dad, I'm sorry.
Of course, it wasn't his fault.
Give my hand.
Blake manages to grab Neil's hand,
Hold on.
but the current's too strong.
Dad.
His dad is swept away beneath the ice.
We were being carried rapidly towards the second ice shelf. I saw it coming. I reached up and grabbed it to try to prevent from going under it. Of course, the river was such that I was carried underneath.
The roof of this ice shelf is even lower than the last.
And the second ice shelf had no room to breathe.
I really thought I had taken my last breath. My father and I both ended up with a lot of abrasions to the top of our heads because we kept trying to come up to the air that we were hoping was there. I've never thought of a worse way of dying than drowning, and was certainly thinking that that is how I was going to die. After being under that water for what seemed like an eternity, I just remember popping out, taking in a nice big breath of air. At this time, I had no idea where my...
Dad! Dad! Dad!
I don't know how I would have been able to face my mother and the rest of my family, letting them know that my father had perished, you know, when I had made it. And the next thing I remember seeing was his head above the water.
The powerful current is sweeping Neil away.
It didn't appear like he was making any attempt to get out of the river, and for all I knew, he was injured and couldn't.
Neil's disorientated, but somehow he catches hold of a rock and hauls himself out.
Dad, you're gonna freeze!
Blake knows that his dad has got to get to shore fast before he's paralyzed by cold and shock.
Let us swim!
And Blake, in the meantime, is yelling at me, and I can't hear him above the roar of the river.
Let us swim for it! Here you go!
So eventually I managed to get my breath long enough to tell him to shut up.
Will you let me think for a minute?
Blake was telling me that I had to swim over to him, which was the last thing in the world I wanted to do.
Dad! Come in!
Getting back in the river is dangerous. But Blake knows it's his dad's only chance.
Come on, Dad! You can do it! You can do it, Dad! Dad!
For at least a week. Their raft is lost, along with all their food and gear. Worse still, the reserve is teeming with hundreds of wolves and bears.
I think at that point we realized that we got some big problems.
Getting colder now, the sun's going down. You think we ought to find a more sheltered spot?
Yeah. You okay to move?
Guess I'll have to be. What are you doing?
Show people where we're going.
Pity there'll be no one to see it.
Come on now.
Blake and Neil set off to look for shelter. Blake lost his boots in the accident, but his pace still leaves his father lagging behind.
I think
Horizon. But during the few hours of darkness, the temperature can still get close to freezing.
I shivered myself to sleep, because I'm sure my clothes were still damp.
But Blake can't sleep. He knows it'll be at least a week before anyone realizes they're missing. If they stay put, their chances of survival are slim. The only alternative is a grueling 60-mile hike to the nearest town.
it was a long way to the nearest person. It was extremely rough terrain. We only had one set of shoes between the two of us. There were plenty of bears in the area. It was hard to take in the severity of the predicament that we were in.
During the night, Blake has made a tough decision.
Well, I needed to get back to Bettles. I needed to go find help.
The #1 rule of survival is stick together. But Blake knows his dad isn't up to the hike.
Dad, you okay?
Yeah. Pretty sore, though. I'm telling you not to go.
Leaving him alone was a hard decision, but I think he knew I was stubborn because I inherited that from him.
You're really going, aren't you?
Yes, sir, I am. I'm really going. Because if I don't, we're gonna die here, Dad.
You're gonna need the knife. And the lighter. Now what about the bears? You saw all those tracks.
Well, you got the fire. That should keep them away.
I meant you, son. What about the bears?
I love you, Dad.
Yeah. Me too. Well, you know I do.
I'm gonna come back, Dad.
Now don't get yourself killed, you hear?
I was emotional when he left. I felt alone and very concerned about being alone, but probably more worried about him and what he might encounter.
I certainly sent the adrenaline through my body when I saw him.
Blake daren't make a sound. The bear's too close.
It was scary seeing him out there. He wasn't far enough away for my liking.
The bear hasn't spotted him, but grizzlies have a sense of smell 100 times more powerful than a human, and can pick up the scent of prey from more than 2 miles away. But Blake's in luck. He's downwind of the bear, and his scent is carried in the opposite direction. But the wind could change. He risks making a run for it. It's a lucky escape, but there's still a long way to go. Blake's making good ground. By his estimation, Bettles is just a day and a half's hike away. After a fitful night's sleep, Blake confronts the bleak reality of his situation.
I was distraught when I realized that there's pretty much no way to get to Bettles. I was a long way from what I'd hoped to be my final destination.
But he has one slim hope.
I kept thinking about the fact that these bush pilots fly up and down these rivers, so they might be flying directly overhead.
If he can make himself more visible, he might be spotted by one of these passing planes. Despite his weakened state, he starts to gather driftwood for a signal fire.
I actually set one of these log jams on fire, hoping that someone might see
being spotted by local pilots. But since nobody knows they're missing, his chances of being rescued are slim.
I was definitely depressed about the situation that we were in, especially because I had so much time to think about it.
Blake endures another day and night helplessly waiting. His constant fear that his dad hasn't survived his ordeal. Blake's decision to hike out looks increasingly like a bad move.
Around 6 or 7 in the evening on Tuesday, I was laying over by my fire when I heard the sound of an airplane. And my God, he was coming up on me quick, I could tell. And I ran as fast as I could.
Hey! Hey! Hey!
I realized that he spotted me. He'd spotted me.
Hey!
3 hours later, and there's still no sign of rescue.
Boy, after a while, I started thinking, did I just hallucinate?
See a fire going, just see a fire.
The pilot launches an aerial search for Neil.
And Tango, where are you guys at? Okay, we're gonna head north.
A plane reaches the right area within 10 minutes. Neil's camp should be easy to spot. But when the pilot reports back to Blake, the news is bad.
Hey, you gotta go back. He's up there. Keep going till you find him. He can't leave. He's gotta be at the camp. Maybe you didn't go far enough. He can't walk. He's gotta be there.
I was worried something would happen to my dad. Because there's no way he could miss it.
You gotta go, Dad. So sorry.
And hell, all I could say was, man, you look like hell.
Well, you don't look that cute yourself.
I was very happy to see him, very, very happy.
Can we get the hell home now? Let's get out of here.
And then we took off. Together again.
The men later learned that their initial camp was not on the flight path of any local aircraft. If Blake hadn't tried to hike out...
Okay, come on. He's coming.
It was just this huge boom, and I was in the water. I think my subconscious was saying, this is it, this is the end. It was only when I actually was pulled back to the surface and gasping for air that suddenly then the reality of what had actually happened hit me.
They've survived the hippo attack, but now they're in even greater peril. They've capsized in one of the most crocodile-infested rivers in the world.
To think
Clive Kelly has watched his wife Brenda sucked under the crocodile-infested river. He has no idea if she is alive or dead.
Brenda! Brenda! Where are you?
Although Clive can't hear them, his wife, along with his daughter Faye, her husband Arthur and their best friend Alistair, have all surfaced underneath the boat.
Brenda!
But the group's immediate danger is not crocodiles.
The current was actually so strong in that part of the river that it actually swept us out from underneath the boat.
The Zambezi is famous for its unpredictable and deceptively strong currents. Many people drown in its eddies and whirlpools every year.
the one thing that I thought of was the fact that my children could have been with me and that I would have lost them because they would have been just thrown out of the boat. You know, they would have just been gone.
Brenda had gone swim very well. She was screaming and struggling.
She obviously needed something to hold on to, and she had swallowed a lot of water and was gasping for air and kind of pushed onto me so that she could get her breath back. And I'm like, you know, Mum, you know, you're pushing me down.
Oh, Brenda, I got you. I got you.
It's just so strong, and we were being swept away.
It's a sandbank.
There was a submerged island.
The first thing I did is start vomiting because I swallowed half a Zambezi.
Alistair has seen his friends struggle against the current. He knows Clive would find it virtually impossible to make it to the sandbank.
Clive can hardly swim, so it was difficult because he couldn't say, hey, swim over to the sandbank or do this or do that. We just had to sit down and settle down onto the boat.
Arthur, Faye and Brenda aren't much better off.
When we finally got to where we could stand, it was kind of a relief, but we knew that it was just a temporary relief.
The river is full of crocodiles and very huge crocodiles that would have no fear of man. And I believe most of those crocodiles in that area just look at you as a food source. So definitely there's a big chance you will be eaten.
From his position on the boat, Alistair assessed.
Get out!
He's crazy.
It was quite fast water. I started swimming slowly, I was a bit scared that splashing around the crocs I'd attract crocodiles. probably swept down 300-400 meters. I was pretty tired by then. I saw a little inlet up ahead, so I paddled into the inlet.
Out of sight from the others, Alistair finally reaches the safety of the riverbank.
As my feet touched the ground, I looked up. About 10 yards away, there was this crocodile in the water just looking at me.
I walked towards the Zimbabwe side of the river to see if we could swim across there.
He just went deeper and deeper into the water, and I just had these images of him being taken by a crocodile, and I couldn't handle that.
Don't go, don't be stupid!
Alistair's too hurt, he could die.
Well, you're not going to help him if you get yourself eaten, are you?
On the bank there were several crocodiles laying there, so I wasn't about to jump in over there, and so I decided to return.
He realized that it was impossible. Every 10-20 meters there's a crocodile lying on the bank of the river. It's just hopeless. The whole situation was just hopeless. Make it without him.
Please.
Maybe we could all swim together. It'd be a big mass then, and that might scare anything off.
Mum, do you think you can?
I'll try.
But I found it very, very hard to get back into the water. We were all so out of our element. I just freaked.
No, it's no use right back.
I just started to panic and said, I can't do it. I just cannot go through with this. I can't go across.
Sorry, courage.
Definitely you get a sense of, well, frustration out of the fact that there's nothing you can really do besides stand there and wait for help.
They all face the prospect.
Going the wrong way. There were definitely points that made me strongly question that I was not in the right place. Maybe I veered off.
Jeremy's exhaustion is adding to his confusion. Instead of listening to his instincts, he plows on, getting further and further from the canyon's only exit.
Something was wrong. I knew something was wrong. But I hadn't seen my side canyon.
And the terrain is getting worse and worse. In daylight, this climb would be a challenge. In the dark, it's practically suicidal.
Patricia Harris. April 5th, 2000. Mackenzie Susan Harris.
Mackenzie Susan Harris. May 1st, 1995.
Skylar.
Christopher Harris.
December 3rd.
Patricia Harris.
I got stuck. And all of a sudden I realized that one of my worst fears is happening, that I might be starting to lose grip on the situation. And that really scared me.
Mosquito onslaught. They come up with a bizarre plan.
Crystal said, well, we should cover our bodies in mud. That would work well of keeping the mosquitoes off of us. We got inside the hole and pushed the mud in on top of each other, covered our faces, and we laid there in the mud and tried to be as still as possible. It actually felt pretty comforting laying there, and I felt like I was completely covered. I felt like I was going to be safe from the mosquitoes. I thought it was going to be a great night.
But Dave couldn't be more wrong. A massive tropical thunderstorm is building in the skies above them. And it's about to...
Children. And that was hard. I had fought against the idea of death. And then this transition happened where you're talking about it. They accept